Exams in our class come really quickly. As you see here looking at the calendar, our first exam is actually going to be coming up on the second Thursday of class. Very, very quick. And then after that, we have again an exam every other week. So exams come really quick and they cover an entire chapter's worth of material. So how exactly am I going to prepare for exams? How do I make sure that I'm actually going to be able to be in a position to hopefully do well on them? Well, one of the ways to make sure that you're able to do well on them is to make sure that you're able to do well on the quizzes. And how do you do well on the quizzes? Well, the biggest factor in doing well on the quizzes is ultimately staying on pace. I've mentioned this so many times in the previous videos. Staying on pace is important. If you fall behind, if you miss a day, that's like 2 to 3 hours of content you have to make up and practice with on other days. And that can be a lot. Your weekends are going to be really valuable time for you to try to practice concepts and really work through them. And so the more time that you can space things out across the week is going to help with your preparation. But what exactly are exams going to look like, and how am I going to know, what things that I need to do to prepare? Well, again, let's take a look underneath our Unit 1 materials folder. In our Unit 1 materials folder, you'll see that we have our worksheets. And worksheets are going to be crucial, again, to making sure that you've practiced the concepts enough that you feel comfortable actually working through the different concepts that we've discussed. So practicing is key. Now, some of the other things that we'll have is study guides. I have study guides that are in each one of our unit materials folders. And if I click on something like Exam 1 Study Guide, you'll see that it gives me a base kind of overview of just what the exam looks like, some of the things that I need to make sure that I understand, a little bit about even what the exam is going to look like. Like Exam 1, we already know it's going to contain 13 total questions that you have to answer. That's it. You're not going to have to provide 14 answers on the exam, only 13. So that counts all individual parts and everything. And it also gives you an idea of what things to go through and study, which again are not surprising. You have your quizzes to go back to, your lecture notes, and all of the worksheets. But in addition to this, I kind of lay out for you each of the different topics that we've covered and the things that you should be able to do when it comes to each of our individual sections. So this here is really important. It's a checklist. If you can go down this checklist and say, Section 2.1, I need to be able to find the areas between curves. This may require breaking up areas into the sum of 2 or more definite integrals. I need to make sure first that I understand what that says, and then I can go back to quizzes and worksheets and find problems that represent this. And then I can go ahead and actually make sure that I can actually do those problems. Now, when you're studying for a math exam, one of the most important things to do is to try problems without any solutions out, without any notes out, just with your calculator and something to write on, right? So like, can you actually just do the problem from scratch? Is that possible? And every time that you get stuck, you know that that means that you don't fully understand the concept. If you have to look something up, if you have to rewatch a section of one of the videos, it means you're not fully ready to go. And so that can be a really good indication that you might need to spend more time practicing a concept. But you'll notice here that I have a checklist of everything that you need to know from each of the individual sections here, and this can be really, really useful. Of course, this doesn't tell you every single type of problem to go tackle, but it tells you all of the concepts, and it's your job to go back through and look at the types of questions that we've asked in the notes and the quizzes and the worksheets so you can get a sense of what things are possible. Okay? So this is kind of all the information about how to study. And again, I'll reiterate one final time, the biggest important thing here is stay on pace. Stay on pace with the class, practice as much as you can, and of course, I'm always here to help if and when you have questions.